ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Borderlands 3. Oh my god, there is so much to talk about, so much endless hype. Essentially, the Flak trailer just dropped. For those guys who do not know, all of the Vault Hunters trailers about their personalities and what they've kind of been through have all been out at this point. There is one of Moe's, Deus Ex guy, Siren, and now Flak. Also, Flak has probably the least backstory, which a lot of people were suspecting because he's kind of the mysterious weirdo, you know, robot person. But with that being said, he has just a slew of abilities, but the thing that I haven't seen covered a lot is his skill tree is actually out on the Borderlands website, which we're going to go through in this video in excruciating detail, because this is by far the most exciting character to me, because it's the first time we've ever seen a Beastmaster actually in Borderlands. We've had pet classes, but not like a Beastmaster, and you'll see what I mean when we go into his skill tree. But yes, he has Rax, he has his Spider Ant with a badass drill that can also turn into a slew of other things. We have his Skag, which is awesome. We also have his monkey thing called Jabba, and we're going to learn all about it. Also, ProZD voiced this awesome protagonist, or like robot, so that's also wicked. Also, I just woke up, so if I look a bit like, then that's what's up. Oh yes, the monkey, love it to pieces. Spider Ant, which can become giant if a certain requirement is met, and of course our lovely Skag. Now, the one thing that I will say that some people are mischaracterizing Flak with is they keep saying he's a sniper class. He's not a sniper class, he's a critical class, meaning there's none of his abilities that are focused around specifically snipers, so hats off to that. Thank you, Gearbox, so much. It's just criticals, and in fact a lot of the well, not a lot, but some of his critical abilities are actually tied, maybe not to sniping, but more like an SMG, something that can smash a crit spot a lot. So yeah, anyways, that is Flak, and let's get into the nitty-gritty versions of all of his skills and all the things. I'm so unbelievably hyped to be actually looking into this character and the whole 9 yards. I can't. Anyways, alright, so first things first, let's cover some basics about Flak. He has kind of two skill abilities. So first of all, the reason why Flak is unlike any pet class that we've ever had is because, from what I see, he has a permanent pet, which is something I've been hoping for a lot, but we can equip the Fire Ants, and he will always be there until he dies, and maybe he comes back after he dies for a short period. I don't know the cooldowns on that, but I think they always stay with us because it doesn't show any sort of timer, and right beside all of your pets has a special action skill. Like for this one, it's Rack. It's Rack Attack, basically. It's you commanding Rax. This one is called Gamma Burst. It's you empowering your enemies as well as radiating them, or sorry, empowering your allies and radiating your enemies. And this one is the one that you see in the trailer, him going like invisible. It's very much like a overpowered, or not overpowered, but like a very strong version of Zero's skill. And of course, these are his other pets: the Jabba, the guard Skag, and of course the Spider Ant, which are Spider Ant Sentry. We're gonna be talking about the Spider Ants first because that's the way they kind of laid it out. They also did a thing. It's like another page that they talk about Flak in, where they go through kind of like a quick synopsis of who he is. But I said, fuck that, we're just gonna go over the whole skills because I love this game. I haven't even played it yet, just love the ones in the past so much. I feel like it'd be real hard for me to hate this game. Who knows? Maybe Gearbox surprises me and does every horrible thing. I don't know, but I'm hyped right now. Let me just have this, okay? It's been a really boring month of gaming, okay? Anyway, so one of the things to note is every single pet is not just that pet. It comes with a slew of other things. So for instance, the Spider Ant comes with health regeneration. And of course, your Skag comes with, I think it's gun damage, will increase Flak's damage, which is awesome. As well as this one comes with movement speed. And they also come with little side buffs, but we'll get into that, starting with the Spider Ant. So like I said, your Beast's attack ability, and your action skill. So for instance, this one is awesome, and it's probably the one I'll pick for my main action skill, but it's called Rack Attack. Flak sends out 2 Racks to dive bomb enemies. This skill has multiple charges, so you'll be able to throw out 2 Racks, or 4 Racks, or 6 Racks, however much it is. We'll get into how crazy this can get over here. But as you guys can see, when we command our Spider Ant to attack something, it will do a charge. And yeah, also we regenerate 1 health per second just by having him out, which is always. He doesn't, I don't think, ever go away. I think he always stays up and about because I haven't seen a cooldown for him at all. Anyways, let's talk about the rack attack. The rack attack, you can throw out 2 amazing racks to dive bomb things. The cooldown on this is 18 seconds, and the damage is 35. Now, the damage will adjust when we start getting into endgame, but generally, it just does damage, and it's kind of fine considering the way you can build this thing. It's fine that it doesn't do excruciating damage. Anyways, Leave No Trace. This ability is tied to a critical hit, so when we get a critical hit, we have a chance of regaining one ammo, but it's a chance, and it's a 36% chance. So I don't know how good this one is. I probably, for me, I wouldn't choose it, but it is a passive, so who knows. This one is pretty great. Also, I'm maxing out all of these just so we can see the base numbers that we'll have when we max these out. Anyways, this is a hunter kill skill, which actually Flak has a lot of, which I love. But it's whenever you get a kill, or whenever you take down an enemy, you gain a stack of Interplanetary Stalker. For each stack, they gain a bonus to all damage dealt. Also, additionally, based on the thing that you kill, you'll gain a different stack. So for instance, if we kill, at a base level, we're gaining, 3 times. So I think we're gaining 30 damage because that can be stacked up to 3 times. Whenever we kill a human, we get action skill damage, which I think can stack again up to 3 times. Corrosive damage when we kill bots. Beast damage, we get movement speed. Mainly, yeah, some are stronger than others, like the human bonus where we get a crazy amount of action skill damage, is nutty. Anyways, moving right along, this is another passive ability called Second Intention. Another kill skill. This one is actually pretty amazing because I feel like it would just really feed into itself. But anyways, basically, whenever we get a kill, we get a ton of reload speed. But if we get a critical, the reload speed is increased. And that adds up to basically being 13 reload speed, but if we get a critical hit, it turns into 23 reload speed. Pretty good. It also lasts for 5 seconds. There's another reload speed ability that I think I would rather prefer in the monkey skill tree, but we'll get into that later. Let's just max all these out, and then we'll just, that way we don't have to do it, because it's kind of annoying to hit the button, and yeah. Okay, passive ability, Hunter's Eye. Flak gains a bonus when fighting different types of enemies. Yes, this is just kind of similar to this. When we fight humans, we get critical damage. When we fight robots, we get armor damage. And when we fight beasts, we get damage reduction onto ourselves, I guess, when we're fighting different enemies. Okay, so whenever we're in the vicinity of that enemy, I guess it gets turned on, that like beast resistance and stuff like that, I guess. Or is that our beasts? I don't know. Let's not think about it too much. Here we go. Head count. This is, I think, the one that I really, really like. And I think could be really, really strong. Whenever Flak scores a critical hit, there is a chance that their action skill cooldown is reduced. This is awesome. And the cooldown time is 2. Now I think that's 2 seconds off of, what is it? For this one, this is on cooldown for 18 seconds. And again, if you happen to have an SMG and you just laser someone on the head, and that 30% chance of you getting that 2 seconds off of your cooldown is constantly proccing, then that's pretty crazy. You're probably gonna get your action skill back very quickly. But with that being said, not all your action skills are tied to your strength. Yeah, like a lot of these don't seem to be really like insane damage ones besides the cloak one, but even that one's more like health regeneration, survivability. Yeah, anyways, needless to say, that to me I think is almost a must in almost any build, just because your action skill will come back, I think, super fast, depending on how things happen, of course. But anyways, also it's only 3 points. It's pretty good for that amount. Ambush Predator. While there are no enemies nearby, Flak's weapons and handling and critical damage all get increased. Your critical damage gets increased by 20%, and your handling gets increased by 50%. Neat! I don't know if I choose it, but neat. Again, I'm not sure if I want to be critical and all that. But if you don't want to be critical, there's Two Fang. Two Fang is basically whenever you shoot once, you have a chance of shooting again. For free, I think, because it says Flak has a chance of firing an extra projectile, which I'm hoping means it doesn't pull from your ammo pool, or otherwise this is just going to rip your ammo apart. And he doesn't really have any regeneration abilities besides this one, which is, you know, yeah. Big Game. This is a passive ability. So this one's weird. It says Flak's hunter skill becomes much more effective and has a longer duration. And it goes all the way up to 13% hunter skill effect and 100% on hunter skill duration. Now, my question is what is the hunter skill? Is the hunter skill this? Or is this hunter's, the skill tree itself is called hunter. So is this all skills within the hunter skill tree? I don't know. It does say hunter skills. So I don't know what that means. Are things like, oh dear lord, I don't know, like some of the kill skills in here. Regardless, this one seems powerful as hell, even if it is just talking about maybe your racks or anything like that, like the amount of time that they stay up attacking things. I don't know. Regardless, Yeah, clueless on this one, honestly. I don't know what it affects. I don't know what a hunter skill is. If it's all of them, then that's pretty nutty. Or is it these, which are hunter skill augments? I don't know. If it's a skill, then it may be this. The action skill is maybe what it's referring to, which would just increase the duration and effectiveness. I don't know what the effectiveness means. Anyways, speculation. You will notice that a lot of these abilities are tied to other skill trees as well. Like when you want to start thinking about any of the builds in this game, I feel like you have to start thinking outside of like what they're trying to say in the specific instance in the skill tree, because that can have massive implications in another. Kind of weird combos and stuff like that. Anyways, the most dangerous game. I think this was the weird one that I was thinking about, yes, but I cut that out of the video, so this one's weird is what I think. Hunter's kill skill. Whenever Flak kills a badass enemy or stronger, which badass enemies are kind of here or there. They usually come at, you know, UVM or like end game content. But if you're fighting an enemy that's, I think, over leveled from you, this will count. But anyways, you gain critical damage, gun damage, and handling for a long time, as well as you get cash from killing that enemy. The thing that with this that's weird to me is it gives you a lot of gun damage, it gives you a lot of critical damage, or a decent amount of critical damage. Handling, sure. It lasts 120 seconds. A lot. But I don't know when, like, I feel like this would be a perk that you wouldn't want to pick up when you're starting. Like maybe when you're at endgame, when you're fighting a badass every other second, and then you could really gain cash and all this other stuff. But otherwise, I don't know. And also, I don't know how much cash you're getting from, like, claiming that badass bounty, you know? I don't know what that's about. But anyways, Galactic Shadow. Flak deals increased critical damage. Enemies are less likely to attack them. Why does it word it like this? It says enemies are less likely to attack them. Is that my group, like my pets? So I get a critical hit, there's a chance for them not to attack myself and my pets. Okay, all right, I don't know, sure. Anyways, Grim Harvest. Flak gains increased gun damage and action skill damage, which is great. Again, maxing out this gives you 15 gun damage and 25 action skill damage, which is great. And lastly, it's Omega skill, which honestly, that's the weak part about Flak, it seems. Yeah, his like last skill point doesn't seem to be insane, or I just don't have the imagination to think what this will be. Both are entirely possible. But anyways, MacGyver. Flak gains a chance to score a critical hit with weapons against any part of an enemy. So you can shoot an enemy in the foot and it'll count as a headshot critical hit. So that's pretty great. It's a 25% chance. It's not the worst. Yeah, and especially considering almost all of the other abilities just increase your critical hit damage or chance or the whole 9 yards. This kind of makes sense why this would be good, but it's kind of just one of those ones that seem, I mean, it's one skill point, and it kind of just makes everything else in the skill tree work better. But there's not like any of those skills that are like, oh, this makes the build amazing. It almost seems like all of Flak's end tier abilities just kind of like get you closer to where you already were kind of going. Yeah. Anyways, this is the cool part about the skill tree to me. It's your goddamned racks, which are awesome. This one's pretty dope. Covers Flak's racks in cryo damage, meaning whenever they attack, they inflict cryo elemental damage, which is great. Also, you can equip 2 of these on your thing. Oh, also, this is, well, we'll get to that, I guess. Anyways, when racks deal damage to an enemy, a portion of that is returned to Flak as health, which is good, but it's only 7%. But that percentage can be better when we get to other skill trees. But ultimately, even still, I probably wouldn't choose this one. These are the 2 that I would probably choose. Flak sends forward an additional rack. So now it says 2 additional racks. So that would, what are we throwing out in general? So that'd be 4. 4 additional rack are in the air, cryo bombing everybody. And I don't think cooldown would really matter, because if we have this, which every time we get a critical hit with like even if it's just like with an SMG, we're getting our cooldown reduced significantly. If this works the way I'm thinking it is, which probably isn't, just because it seems really strong. Yeah. Anyways, then there's this one, which also seems amazing. It's like these are the 2 that I think I would choose. Maybe cryo though, I don't know. Anyways, Rackcelerate? That's why I haven't been reading the names. Flak's racks have increased cooldown rate, which is nice, and you gain an additional charge. It would be nice to know how many charges we have. I don't believe it tells you. No, just, yeah, never mind. It doesn't tell you the charges, but I imagine maybe 3. 3 would seem reasonable. But in general, I don't know. I mean, it's cool that you have another charge, but it also seems like, I don't know, if this is as strong as it's like alluding to, the cooldown thing, then I think I would just go with cryo, and this. Yeah, but I don't know. Anyways, that's the skill. No, we're not. Sorry, super excited. I'm all over the place. So always on the left will be your action skills augments and like buffs. But to the right is what your creature can evolve into, and that's fine. Like it doesn't affect anything negatively. So we're on this slot right now. So if we're able to go to this one, I would equip it, and that would replace what our beast now is without like messing with any of these. So this is its separate thing, just to let you guys know. Anyways, Spider Ant Scorcher. Flax Spider Ant evolves into a Scorcher, occasionally dealing incendiary damage to all enemies nearby. While accompanied by the Scorch, Flax consistently regains health and gains elemental resistance. When Flack issues a command, the Scorch will now charge an enemy. Now the reason why this is important is because Flack has so many weird ways of attacking, which I can understand why this character was so complicated. It's because you have your action skill, you have your pet, and then you have your pet's action skill. So, and other like weird abilities coming into play. Yeah. Anyways, that's just something that it does. Also, you get an extra, I would assume 2 health per second. Because yeah, that's the only way that would make sense. Is you get a 2, maybe it changes with scaling, like when you get to like UVHM. I don't know. Anyways, regardless, that's kind of cool. You become a fire ant and you get more health and resistance. Neat. But anyways, this one becomes a, am I reading that right? A Spider Ant Countess? Alright. Flax Spider Ant evolves into a Countess, whatever, which will cause Flack to consistently regenerate health and gain damage reduction. So this one gives you elemental resistance, and this one gives you reduction to base damage, which I guess whichever one you want. But then again, when Flack issues an attack command, the contest, or whatever, will burrow underground and then emerge, dealing corrosive damage in an area. And if I'm not mistaken, corrosive damage does actually amplify all other damage. I believe radiation is the thing that like shares damage or something. Yeah. Anyways, regardless, that is all the skills. I have no idea what I'll invest them in. I'll have to like review this 3 more times until I'm sure, until I get a good understanding of what I actually want to invest in. But it was gonna be a 30-minute video at this rate. I'm so sorry. Anyways, let's get into this one, which is the one I'm way more excited for. I've always wanted a class in Borderlands that has messed with like a skag. Ever since Crazy Earl had like that skag with like a giant metal plate in his face, like a saw blade, that just like eviscerates things. I'm sold. I really wanted a skag-like companion, and this one kind of does the job. Let's get into it. Alright, so starting off, we have our beautiful little skag, which is your guard skag. Flack is joined by a loyal skag companion, which will increase Flack's damage by 5, but again, this can scale. It's kind of weird, the damage numbers at this point. Now, when we issue an attack command to our skag, he will throw acid at an enemy. Now, what is acid? I don't know. I imagine it's just kind of like a damage over time thing. Maybe it's corrosive. I don't know. It just says acid. Yeah, vomit acid onto enemies. But yeah. Anyways, so that's what your other side ability is. Now, your action skill for this skill tree is called Gamma Burst. Now, this explains a lot from what you've been seeing in trailers. Flack creates a rift at its target's location, teleporting their pet through the rift, and dealing radiation damage to nearby enemies. All good things, but it says additionally, Flack's pet becomes irradiated, okay, but grows in size and deals bonus radiation damage when it is attacked. So that is the thing where we've been seeing our skag just become like this towering giant, or our monkey becoming bigger, or our spider ant becoming giant. This is, I think, what that is referring to. Now, unfortunately, we can only, it'd be so cool if you could have all of your summons out at once. I don't think you can, which breaks my heart, but yeah. Unless you can, but I don't think... I mean, maybe you just basically command one animal, but they're all up. I don't think that'd be how it works. But anyways, needless to say, this is how Gamma Beam works. Essentially, you increase your beast's size, and he has an amplified damage for a good bit. Using Gamma Burst while Flack's pet is downed or dead will revive him, but will basically increase your action skill cooldown time. So you won't be able to use this for a good bit. Which is kind of unfortunate, but it kind of gets nullified. And yeah, also your radiation burst has a limited cooldown, so this only lasts 20 seconds, and the cooldown is 30 seconds, but I believe if we wanted to skip, I don't know where it is, we'll find it. Anyways, Flack's pet deals increased damage. This is awesome, and also it's amazing that it's that much, 50% extra damage for your pets. Also, it's at the top of the skill tree, which means it's super, you're able to get this even if you want to use not this skill tree, which is nice, because that just generally is a good chunk of damage right off the cuff, which is awesome. I think it's almost going to be like a necessary, because I just get the vibe that Flax beasts are going to be okay, but not like OP unless you start building for them, which makes sense. But anyways, I should also probably read the damn titles of these because they're kind of funny, but also a lot. Persistent Hunter increases Flax gun damage and action skill duration. Also, my god, that's a lot of action skill duration. 45% is nothing to scoff at. Also, the 12 damage is just kind of a nice accompanying thing. Anyways, go for the eyes. When Flax Pet attacks an enemy, the first melee attack is an automatic critical hit that deals increased damage. Also, it's 75% damage. Now, yeah, this is good. I don't know. Okay, so if I have my racks and I throw out my racks, does that get with, yeah? You know what I'm saying? Is that what it is? What's the cooldown on this as well? Like, what do you mean the first melee attack? Like, what is the cooldown on this? Because this is good, but it's not good always. So I'm not sure about that one. I'd have to see how it comes into play. But anyways, who rescued who? This one seems really good too. This one I think is also kind of necessary. But anyways, it's also kind of baked in lies. Anyways, whenever Flax Pet deals damage, Flack regains health for a few seconds. Whenever Flack deals damage to an enemy, their pets gain health for a short amount of time. So basically, when you deal damage, your pets gain a percentage of that damage dealt, and actually 5% is an insane amount. But just to not get fooled here, you're only gaining 2 health every however long this lasts. So it's not like you're gaining a crazy percentage of health, from what I gather. So it says literally converts 5 of your damage dealt to any attacker or anything you're attacking to your pet. So they're just gonna get health all the time, which is awesome. But when they deal damage, it's just gonna basically trigger a health regeneration effect for you, which won't be that bad if you have like a corrosive abilities and stuff like that. Like your pets deal damage over time effects, which will constantly keep accruing you health over the course. And 2% isn't bad if we get into another skill tree. But anyways, that's just great. I think that's kind of necessary if you're going to use your beasts. It bites! When Flax Pets take damage, the pet returns some of the damage to its attacker. This is Reflection, baby! And oh boy howdy, is this a skill that I would imagine works wonders with the Spider Ant, which seems like it's more of a regeneration tank kind of pet. So this to me, again, feels really like it would go hand in hand with the Spider Ant. Also because the Spider Ant has certain abilities where it can like aggro. Anyways. Frenzy. When Flax Pets deal damage, Flack and their pets gain a stack of Frenzy. Each stack of Frenzy increases your gun damage. The stacks decay for a few seconds. This can stack up to 10 times and is 4 per stack. That's 4 damage, not even gun damage, just 4 damage per stack. It usually specifies when it's something specific. So this means I think action skill damage, your base damage, grenade damage, I think it's the whole 9 yards. But yeah, and that's 4% with 10. That's 40 fucking damage. That's not bad in the slightest. Also, it's just you dealing damage. Like, that's insane. Like, if you just have your, like, 4 racks, which you can just whip out, and they all just come bulldozing down, and you just get that instantly. At least I feel like that would be how it works. But maybe, again, there's some, like, hidden cooldowns to getting certain stack numbers. Who knows? I don't know, but we'll see. Anyways, I'll be right back. Psycho Head on a Stick. Hunter skill. Whenever Flack kills an enemy, their pets gain increased movement speed and damage. This almost seems necessary as well, if you want to have like an attack thing, because I feel like the biggest problem with your pets are going to be how clever the AI is in getting to enemies. That was one of the things that was in the pre-sequel, not to go on a tangent, but Wilhelm, the only way his beasts were able to kind of work, or not his beasts, but his drones, were because they clipped through walls, so they never got like caught on shit, they just flew right through them, which sure is weird for immersion, but I'd much rather have that, just because I hate when you invest in these animals only to have them like get caught between a ramp, and you're just like, please just don't do this, just come over here. But anyways, movement speed would be a huge thing, as well as your just pet damage gets increased. Also, it lasts 8 seconds, and it's just a hunter kill skill, and it's 1 point. Don't know why you wouldn't get this if you're going down the skill tree. You probably would. Hive Mind. When Flack takes damage, a portion of the damage is shared to your pets. So I guess it halves your damage and gives the damage to your pets, or 15% damage shared. Now we're just going to jump to to the bottom real quick with this one. So this is shared damage. Then there's this skill all the way down here, which is while Flak is at low health, a portion of the damage they take is shared to their pet, except it's 50% of the damage that you take is shared to them. So I feel like this is going to be one of those numbers that like some of the amazing people in the community are just going to crunch some numbers and realize, oh god, you're immortal. You're going to be fine if you have these two skills. But also, I don't want to hurt my dogs or my pets, my ravenous, deadly animals. Anyways, barbaric yip. Oh yeah, increases the power bonus granted to Flak. So I think what this means, and first of all, it's 100% bonus. So that's crazy, but I'm pretty sure what this means is when we equip, or when we have this person selected, so when you have this version of our Skag, it says, it increases Flak's damage. Now, it only increases it by 5%. But if we had 100% bonus from that, that would increase that by a lot. Now, also, if we went into any of the other skill trees like this, it increases our health regeneration by 100%, right? Isn't that what it's saying? Your pet bonus, and if it's this, it's movement speed, and if it's these other ones, then it's more different. It's fire rate. So I'm not sure. A lot of the things in Flak's skill tree, I'm like, it could be godly, but I don't know, because it just, if it's that strong, then yeah. But then again, Zane has some of the most disgusting damage numbers I can think of. Anyways, we gotta move along here. Pack tactics. All damage dealt by Flak and their pets is increased. Just generally nice. Additionally, the maximum health of both Flak and their pets are increased. 15% for 3 skill points. I don't know. I think there's some in here that I'd probably rather get, and also I don't know about this one, but yeah, because I think it would kill your pets. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, dominance. Melee override skill. Flak establishes dominance over the enemies of Pandora and other planets, turning them into an ally for a short time. If the enemy is a beast, the duration is doubled. While under the effect of dominance, the target consistently loses health until it dies, or until the effect ends. Only one enemy can be dominated at a time, and enemies cannot be dominated more than once. Okay, so yeah, this one could be unbelievably strong because it doesn't give any specified level restriction. So if you had like a godly, like you're fighting a boss and he summons a bunch of ads to come kill you, and you hit him once and then he just wrecks his own ads, and then you're back to fighting him, or he just loses a good bit of health. Yeah, I just don't know. This one seems weird. Again, it's one of those ones where I'm like, it sounds good, but only 12 seconds, maybe, I mean, more than 12 seconds if he's a beast, but yeah, I don't know. It's one of those ones where, again, it just doesn't scream like, how do I say it? Like Krieg had an ability at the end of its skill tree where whenever he was on fire and he took damage, fire orbs would just rain death. They weren't that strong, but it was cool. And you got the idea of like, oh my god, I become a sentry. Anyways, moving right along. I just don't want these videos to be like ages, but it's already kind of there. These are all affecting Gamma Blast, but atomic armor. When Gamma Blast is active, Flak's pet is surrounded by radiation aura, consistently damaging all nearby enemies. Radiation damage 4 per second. Okay, I don't know what to base radiation damage off of, so I'm assuming that's good. Also, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, honestly. For the duration of Gamma Burst, Flak's damage is increased. That's kind of good, especially considering that may scale good or not. I don't know. It's weird. That one, again, numbers are strange. Endurance. I think this is the one that I thought would be nutty and almost necessary if you're going to use Gamma Burst. When Flak or Flak's pets kill an enemy while Gamma Burst is active, the duration of Gamma Burst is extended and pet damage is increased. This effect stacks up to 5 times. So pet damage gets all the way up to 50% because it stacks 5 times on per kill. So if you're able to kill 5 enemies, you get 50% more pet damage, and you get 3 seconds off of your skill. And Gamma Burst, I don't know, I just feel like this would give you your skill a lot. And again, if you had other critical abilities that gave you back Gamma Burst, you could just keep bulldozing this over and over and over again. So this is a necessity for me if I was ever going to use Gamma Burst. Anyways, Burst Aid. After using Gamma Burst, we've seen this in trailers, while standing near the rift, Flak and his allies rapidly gain health. 20% of health per second is pretty nutty and pretty good. Now what does our awesome Skag turn into, Grin? Well, he turns into a Great Horn Skag, which is Flak's Skag evolves into a large Great Horn Skag, which will increase Flak's gun damage and damage. Also, your animal attack is overridden and becomes, the Great Horn Skag will charge an enemy and knock them into the air. Kind of good, although I much prefer the goddamned Iridian Skag, which I don't think refers to you increasing the damage on them. So yeah, anyways, Flak's Skag evolves into an Iridian Skag, which increases your damage and fire rate, which again, this is your passive bonus. So does this buff your fire rate to a crazy degree? Like, what's happening? What is going on with this? Anyways, also your damage is increased. So that seems nutty, but also your beast attack changes into pulling enemies near your Skag. So basically it's a singularity, which to me seems way more effective because you want your beast to be close near enemies to rip them apart and stuff like that. Also, if you're gonna use Gamma Beast or Gamma Ray, that would be good. So like, I don't know, you throw you get your beast to pull on all these enemies, and then you use Gamma Ray, and it does radiation damage all around them. Maybe that does something. Anyways, boom, bam. That is the Master skill tree. And by the way, this was the Hunter skill tree. Now, last but not least, Mother of God, this video is long. Thank you for being patient with me. This is the Stalker skill tree, which is way more selfish, but also makes Zero cry because it's unbelievably better than his. Anyways, so first of all, we have Jabber Sidekick, which is a monkey thing, and also it wields weapons, which is wicked. But anyways, Flak is joined with his loyal Jabber companion. Anyways, it's armed with a pistol, and it says, while accompanied by the Jabber, Flak's movement speed is increased. Also, your beast has the attack command, which will cause the Jabber to throw radiation barrels like motherfucking Donkey Kong. That is wicked. I love that. Don't like the movement speed buff. Who cares? Honestly, who cares about that? If it gave movement speed to my animals, then yes. But otherwise, who cares? Anyways. Your other ability is Fade Away, which is very much reminiscent of Zero's skill. Flak cloaks, turning invisible. Flak can fire up to 3 shots while cloaked, and each shot is automatically a critical hit, which is crazy. Anyways, while cloaked, Flak has increased movement speed and health regeneration. Now, they were not playing when it comes to that critical damage. It says Fade Away critical damage is 200%. That's insane. Also, your cloak movement speed is 25. I think that was around Zero's as well. And your health regeneration is 3 seconds. It's nothing crazy. It's fine. But anyways, this skill lasts 15 seconds. At least it's on a pretty meaty cooldown, so you're not going to be able to pop this all the time. Well, you are, because you'll... Yeah. Anyways, the skill tree. Self-repairing system. Flak's maximum health is increased, and they consistently regenerate health. Now, what do they mean when they say they? Is that my allies or my pets and me? Regardless, we had an ability all the way over there that was like special to regeneration. This is a base regeneration on top of health regeneration, or just max health, sorry. And it's 2% health per second. Whereas what was this one? This one is what, 1 health per second with having to have this beast out. Whereas this one, it's 2 health per second, always, forever. That's great when it's 5 out of 5 at least. Also, you get a good chunk of health as well. Neat. Anyways, Sick'em this is cool. Attack commands have lower cooldowns and increased damage. Now, this is frustrating because I don't know what the cooldown on your attack command is in general, but hey, now it's shorter and deals more damage, so when you're whipping barrels at people, it does a lot of damage. Cool. We don't have anything to know scale-wise, so it's just kind of speculation at this point, which is the whole video, but hey, fun times. Furious attacks. This is a hunter skill. After killing an enemy, Flak gains a stack of Furious Attack, another stacking ability skill, which is awesome. But anyways, for each stack of Furious Attack, Flak's handling and gun damage gets increased for a few seconds. Stacks decay after a few seconds as well. Handling gets all the way up to 4 per stack. It's gonna be stacked up to 10 times, which is nutty. And the gun damage is 2 per stack. So with that 20% extra gun damage just on a flat amount. Also, it lasts for 4 seconds, which is a lot, considering most things decay faster. Again, awesome. Just good base damage and handling, which is just your ability to swap guns, which is less good, but yeah. Emerge to impress. Gotta drink some water. This is a kill skill. Whenever Flak kills an enemy, your action skill cooldown is reduced. Now, again, this is one of those things where I'm like, okay, This can get crazy. Like, you can have your attacks, your abilities all the time if you just get a couple. If it scales the way I think it is, but sometimes cooldown things have always been weird in Borderlands, where they stop working at a certain point, it seems. Whenever Flak's pets kill an enemy, your action skill cooldown is reduced. Even more, the attack command is refreshed. So what does that mean? Does that mean this is irrelevant? If we just get a kill, we get our pet's action skill right back? Because yeah, when we get a kill, we get 1 second off our cooldown, which is insane. And then when our pet gets a kill, they get 2 seconds off their cooldown. I mean, it's bad when it's in this instance, which you're on a 45-second cooldown, but if you're able to jump over to this, which is only on a 30-second cooldown, or furthermore, your racks, which are on a 18-second cooldown, you're going to be able to chuck out your racks like crazy and just freeze the entire world. Anyways, just kind of thinking aloud here. It's getting crazy. Anyways, we have this as well, which is all my BFFs. Allies. Oh yeah, this is the one that's crazy too for being like the best support character in the game, it seems. Allies share a portion of Flak's total health regeneration. Flak's pets share twice the amount of health regeneration. So this is, what is it? Allies share 50% of health regeneration that is gained by Flak. So that is this in general. So your allies will always be healing. That is also, if you want to do this, have this Spider Ant as your pet, that will give you a crazy amount of health regeneration. And if you want to use, I think, well, health regeneration. So this is just like health steal, so I don't think that counts. But then there's also, what is it, this Gamma Ray. So if I were just staying in my rift and I'm regaining health, that will also be just bleed over to my allies, which is insane. I could definitely see you being like team player over here. Anyways, overclocked. Flak gains massive increase to fire rate. Flak gains even more fire rate after reloading. This is the one that I think synchronizes really well with itself. So, what do you call it? We gain a 10% fire rate on a base level, but then after reloading, we gain another 10%. And overclock duration is 4 seconds. So if I'm not mistaken, this seems like it would just indefinitely work. So you'd fire, empty your clip, which would probably take around 4 seconds, maybe less. Also, does it refresh right after you use it, so you don't even need to try to fight to get to the end of your magazine? Regardless, this just seems awesome, like really, really good, out of the cuff. This one seems like kind of like a lone wolf solo player's wet dream a little. When Flak is in fight for his life, their pets will attempt to revive them, which is great. So if you're not playing with people, boom, bam, you can get revived by your pet, which is lovely. And of course, we got turn tail and run, which is while moving, Flak consistently regenerates health and gains damage reduction. This is cool too. While still, Flak gains gun damage and fire rates. And also the bonuses seem pretty hefty. Again, for only 3 points, this seems pretty great. Anyways, your damage reduction while moving is 17%. Not bad at all. And your health regeneration is 9 while moving. Also, that's almost 1 tick, which is this. So you're gonna be even healing your allies even more if you get this one. Anyways, also, when you're standing still, you get, 25 damage. I forgot about that. That's a lot. Also, your fire rate's pretty good, but your gun damage gets crazy buffed when you're moving. That's great. So good. Wait, so good. Why is this blue? What happened? Don't know why that's blue. Anyways, the fast and the ferocious. Okay. While above half health, Flak's gun damage and movement speed is increased. It's also a pretty good amount of gun damage, 25% gun damage. Again, Flak's not like all about kill skills. He seems to be just generally really good. Yeah, just because, yeah, also he's fast, which just kind of makes sense. I guess he's like animals and shit, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, we got this one, Hiding Machine. When an enemy has no target or is attacked at a different target, Flak deals increased damage against them. So I guess when an enemy's not looking at you, you gain increased damage, which is great because you can just sick your animals on them and yeah, cool. We're almost done, guys. Rage and Recovery. Kill skill. After killing an enemy, Flak and his pets regenerate health for a few seconds. And again, what is it? Yeah, oh my god, yeah. Your health gets all the way increased by 8%. With all these little tiny improvements to your health regeneration, I think that could add up to be pretty good, even if it's just half of it for your allies. Also, your Rage and Recovery lasts 3 seconds, which actually isn't that long, but it's a kill skill. With everything else going on, I think you'll kill things fine. Anyways, this is its last skill tree, or last point of the skill tree, meaning it should be the best. Anyways, the power inside. This is very reminiscent of Silence the Voices to an extent, for Krieg. Anyways, it says Flak and Flak's pets gain increased damage while Flak activates an action skill. So that's just generally great. especially if you're doing racks. You're using the rack ability, but this is kind of reminiscent of the Krieg one because it says if flak is at full health, the damage is doubled. So what is normally 25 becomes 60 bonus damage, which lasts for 15 seconds, which seems pretty nutty. So for me, honestly, I don't know, because the two things that I would love to use, and it's sad that there's no like them and Tangent work together, but I honestly don't really care about the Spider Ant. It's just not my cup of tea, but I love so dearly this ability. I think the racks are just awesome. Just to be able to throw like a swarm of these birds just to wreck shop and like freeze the world sounds like crazily amazing. Also, I should stop talking because we're not done. Heartburn. Sorry. Gorillas in the Mist. Fade Away no longer ends after flak attacks, at the cost of critical hit damage. Fade Array's duration has been reduced. So, I don't know exactly what this means. Does it mean, so 8 seconds. Does that mean this now lasts, it no longer has a cooldown of 25 seconds, but instead has a cooldown of 8 seconds? And its critical hit damage is reduced. I don't know how this works. I'm not even gonna think about it. Anyways, Not My Crisis. After Fade Away ends, Flak's pets will taunt, drawing the attention of all enemies in a huge radius for a few seconds after taunting. And the pet gains powerful damage resistance. The taunt lasts for 6 seconds, and the pets gain a giant amount of damage reduction, and this could probably be pushed in tangent with this, which is your reflection damage. So you're reflecting damage back at the enemy as well as tanking a good amount of damage or forcing the enemy to attack them and stuff like that. Not my monkey. Until You Are Dead. Health regeneration and movement speed of Fade Away persist for a short time after the skill has ended. 10-second during cloak. Oh, post cloak. That's, what are you talking about? A few seconds. 10 seconds is a long time. That's insane. So wait, health regeneration and movement speed? Well, movement speed is pretty good. Health regeneration is not that much in the whole cloaked. So I guess that's not the worst, or not too overpowered. But anyways, Unblinking Eye. Successfully hitting an enemy target increases Flak's critical damage per hit. Unblinkable Eye resets every 3 hits. So I think this is similar to Zero's critical hit thing, where when you get multiple critical hits, it just keeps increasing critical damage. But if you miss, I do believe it resets it. So yeah, honestly, all of these don't really jive with me. But anyways, these are really cool. So your pet Jabba can turn into a beefcake, which is weird, discarding his pistol and equipping a shotgun. Also, while accompanied by the beefcake, Flak gains increased movement speed and maximum health, which sounds good. Anyways, your Jabba's attack command now will summon a melee weapon to deliver a powerful blow, knocking back enemies. So that's the amount of health you get as well as movement speed. I imagine it's more, but just with the scaling of it, it's not that much. But this is probably the one that I'll go with. Your Jabba upgrades his gear and equips an SMG. While accompanied by the Gunslinger, Flak gains increased movement speed and critical damage. Also, while Flak issues an attack command, Gunslinger equips a rocket and attacks a target. So yeah, your pet command is now a rocket launcher smashing into their face, which sounds lovely. And ladies and gentlemen, it took a good bit, but that was Flak's skills. Again, the thing that I feel like I need to have, and it sucks because I'm kind of torn between Gamma Ray, which I just love the idea of having your beast just be like this hulking, monsters, and just being able to like persist that with one of these skills. I forget which one it is, but basically, yeah, this one, where every time you get a kill and every time they get a kill, it increases their damage. But I also love the idea of having like endless racks and having them do cryo damage and having you do like critical damage and that reducing your cooldown for your racks, as well as maybe going over here and having you're getting more attack commands for your beasts. Because I think that's the thing that I would go with, honestly. It's probably this, having the rack ability and having this ability. But that's the thing that sucks, is like until we get to DLC 3, when we finally unlock like 61 or whatever skill points it is, so that we can kind of bridge ourselves between two skill trees. And I don't know, man, I'm find myself stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be my build. Like, that's just me doing quick. I don't know, but it'd be basically like maximizing the pups and whatnot, and just getting this last ability where it's I didn't even make, wait, where is it? Yeah, I got this one, yeah. But I'm not even sure if I want that last perk though, because it just kind of seems weird. Like I would want the end perks of other ones. I gotta think about it more. I gotta spend like hours just reading over everything. Listen, I really like building games, especially in Borderlands. Especially the pre-sequel. The pre-sequel had a lot of problems, but I think it did balancing immensely well. I mention that all the time, but I think it's true. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your day. This has been us going over Flak. It's been probably a longer video, but also I tried to move along as fast as I possibly could as well. And yeah, he just seems like a dope class. I love all of his abilities. I'm a bit sad that he doesn't, at least it seems like he doesn't have all of his pets. It seems like you can only have one pet at a time, which is weird when they're showing trailers how all the pets are up and at him. So yeah, that's a bit weird. Yeah, maybe there's I don't know, a skill mod that allows one of his pets just to exist. Maybe not even do much, but just exist around you, tank stuff. I don't know. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be covering Borderlands a lot, and I think I'll be making a point to make more Borderlands videos just to win you guys over, and myself for that matter, until the game actually comes out, because I'm definitely going to be covering the ever-living shit out of the game. Thank you so much for your time. There's a subscribe button above me, as well as 2 videos to my right. Thank you again, and goodbye.